So Jerry did go on to walk back a little bit of that testiness at the end of the interview. But Marcus, you're taking a deep breath after you heard that. What do you make of Jones' comments?
I mean, listen, Jerry knows it's a leadership void. We play this same song. We've been playing this same song. But it's obvious on this team. Your leader fractured his ankle, okay? Yep. And he's not in the locker room anymore to make sure everything is running smoothly, guys are getting back on track. It relates on the field as well. Dak Prescott was on the field. This team was still bad. They were still having turnovers. The defense was still giving up a lot, and they were in games because Dak Prescott was on the field being a leader. There's a leadership void. And then you go to another level. The coaching staff, it's a leadership void. This team is making the same damn mistakes they've been making since week 2 of the season. So at some point, the leadership of the coaches need to say, hey, we're not going to allow ourselves to be beat this way anymore. That's the second thing. The third thing is the general manager. Yes, Jerry Jones, I'm talking to you. Maybe it's time for somebody to come in that's going to be ingrained in roster building, making sure you don't have cataclysmic problems if people get injured or you lose position groups or things like this transpire. Defensively, you are devoid of talent. I don't know if anybody else told you, but you are. You're devoid of talent up front. There's not enough playmakers and players on the defense right now. It's a leadership void on all 3 levels. And anybody that's watching football, been around football, and watching what's happening in Dallas knows it's a damn leadership void and also a production void and wrong decisions being made. And I'm going to leave it at that because I've been around this game long enough. I started playing football when I was 6 and finished when I was 31 years old. That's 25 years of football. Played in the league 9-4 in college. And when the leadership void is missing, I can tell because I've been a part of it. Yes, it's a void.
That's called keeping it 100.
There you go.
I think the Cowboys organization has been exposed over the past couple weeks. When we talked about Dak Prescott for the last 18 months, it was always the contract situation. And when it tied to the financial aspect, it was often like the Cowboys wanting Dak. Now, the reports have come out that they offered him a really, really good contract, and he has decided to say no, right? Maybe he knew more than we did. You know, maybe he knew a little bit more about what the reality of that organization was. And I think Dak Prescott is sitting there right now going, you know what? As I'm sitting there watching this unfold, maybe Dallas isn't the right place for me. Like, maybe Dallas is not the place for my future, because if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm sitting there going, how can they fall apart so fast, so much without me? Like, he's a really good player. I get all that. But teams lose players and quarterbacks at times, and they don't fall apart. The Cowboys organizationally have fallen apart. And I think Dak is going, you know what? This isn't a one-year fix. Me coming back next year is not going to fix everything that's going on with Marcus's point at the top and what's going on with the lack of leadership at the head coaching position and what's going around the lack of leadership at all the coaching positions and the other players. The Cowboys organization in many ways has been exposed.
Players change, quarterbacks change, coaches change, but the one constant here is the owner, Jerry Jones. After he, sniped at that radio host, he apologized by saying, well, there's an old saying, if old man has a little money, you don't want to piss him off or something. I don't even think that's a real saying, by the way, and it's very syntactically confusing. But let's talk about that money, Jerry, and let's talk about how you spent it. Because in the year 2020, there is nothing more important in football than passing the ball and stopping the pass. Jerry Jones chose not to pay their quarterback who passes the football. I know they offered him a contract, but it wasn't what he wanted, okay? And meanwhile, he didn't invest money in stopping the pass and the right players. Ezekiel Elliott, they drafted before Jalen Ramsey, who we saw balling out last night. Mm-hmm. They paid him and Jalen Smith, let Byron Jones walk, and they can't pass the ball or stop the pass. It's not that complicated. It's not complicated. This is a poorly built football team, and you're seeing the consequences.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.